I've only got a hole in the FEP. This is so I wanted to film today. Oh, so annoying. I've got a hole in my FEP and tiny little bit of resin's coming through. It's not stuck to the screen. That basically puts a pause on all projects until I get a new FEP screen. So I need to order a new FEP tonight, and we need to continue with this video another time. Sometimes this hobby is really annoying.
Anyone who's ever had a hole in the FEP will know exactly how frustrating it is, especially if you're mid-flow in a project. This happened to me whenever I was doing the slice and slot project for Microforge Minis. It completely put a pause to the project and I was frustrated not knowing what to do and like trying to film things. So I actually filmed the process of me fixing the FEP as well. Didn't think I'd end up using the footage, but I'm putting it out because it might be useful for someone out there who also has this same problem. This is how you change your FEP screen.
Hello gents, and I say gents deliberately because the vast majority of my viewership is male, quite understandably so. Obviously you want to wear some gloves for this process. This is the hole that was in my FEP. It's a really tiny hole, but this sort of hole can cause a big amount of disaster because if that comes onto your screen and cures, well, basically your screen's absolutely screwed. The first part of the process is remove the tank, turn it over, and you can remove the screws on the base so that you can take the FEP screen out of the tank like so. It's quite an easy process, but there are a lot of screws, as you can see. We need to remove these ones on the actual screen itself also, and that's a very long process. I've sped it up here just for the sake of brevity. And you will have some resin sticking in around the crevices of your screen, so make sure to wipe that all off. Again, also wearing gloves because, yeah, you don't want to get dead with the resin and whatnot. Wipe it all off and we're ready to go. I'm going to cut a piece of 10 centimeter thick sponge, and this is to release any tension in the screen itself. Once you remove the film, you can just place it over the top of your screen and you can see how it kind of holds the FEP off the base. You want a bit of slack in the base before you screw it back into the main tank. Once it's all screwed together, you simply remove it and you can see how it's a bit slack, and we're going to cut off all of the edges because you don't want any of that spare plastic sticking around. Then you turn your FEP tank back over and you pop it back in, and you can see here where the arrow is showing the tension whenever I press down. That's what we want, and that's what's going to happen whenever we screw these screws back in again. It's going to bring that tension back in, and when it's all done, it should sound like a drum, kind of like this. Make sure to wipe down the FEP afterwards. You don't want any dust or anything in there that's going to affect your prints. And it's ready to put back in your printer.
We all know that this hobby doesn't always go according to plan, and at least now I don't have a hole in my FEP, so I'm not going to ruin my brand new printer.
Hello gents, I'm sitting on my throne and I've just realized that this video so far is about changing an FEP, and that might be a little bit boring for one video. So I decided that I'm going to show you some stuff that I printed that's really cool, namely the Balrog and Gandalf from Varus Miniatures, which you guys will love. Also, I was going to print them in 10mm scale, and then I'm going to big them up to 390% more and see if that works. But lo and behold, there are still problems to be had.
Okay, so here I am laying out the Balrog in Chitterbox in 10mm scale from Varus Miniatures. Of course, I'm going to add Gandalf in there, but as I said before, I want to scale these up, so I've added another Gandalf onto the build plate and I've scaled them up by 390% because I just think that will look cool, and I also want to see how they print. Will they hold up? And here's me scaling up the Balrog as well, 390%. And all I want to see is, do they have the same fidelity at 390%?
Ah, yes. Oh,
His sword didn't print. Oh no. Some stuff didn't print on him. I'm gonna have to print him again with supports. Dang it. Try that again. These guys seem to print. No. You need to print them again. It's a shame because it was looking very good. I should have printed them with supports. Ugh, such a shame that this print didn't work. It's such a cool looking model, but we're going to print it again with supports. If anyone's interested in having this failed print, let me know in the comments below and I'll do a little raffle and I'll send it out to somebody if they really want it.
Okay, let's give this Balrog a rerun. I actually really like the way the red shows wherever the support should be. Looks pretty cool. And this looks like an awful lot of supports for this model, but I didn't want to take any risks. So let's dip him into the tank and get him printed off again. And while he's printing off, I'm going to take a look at the models that I printed on the Mars 2 Pro. All the small models, the Balrog and Gandalf in bigger scale. Also the Balrog on 10mm scale. Now getting the supports off a 10mm scale model is a pain in the butt because you just don't want to break the 10mm scale model. But the big scale model, easy peasy, and it came off. Now I just want to chat about Varus Miniatures here for a second because look at these models, man. They're so cool. I love the way they've been designed for 10mm scale. They've got this kind of cartoony slight look to them, which I really like, but I actually like it in big scale too. If you look at Gandalf here, he just looks totally badass. And yeah, Gandalf looks absolutely awesome here. The fidelity is completely fine whenever you blow them up big. And if Gandalf fought Balrog at this scale, well, the Balrog would be screwed. Anyway, let's get back to the other print because I think it's just about ready.
Okay, moment of truth. Yes, that's looking so much better. That looks like a perfect print.
So it seemed like a really good idea at the time to print them off in 390%. But yeah, this was problematic from this point onwards because what I hadn't factored in is the size of my wash and cure station. As you can see here, I couldn't fit him into the basket, so I had to basically shove him into the tank itself, and he literally just about squeezed in. And then I put the lid on, and once the lid was on, I just gave him a good shake. Thankfully, he was right tight against the edges, so I wasn't risking the breaking of the model. But my problems didn't stop there, because once I took him out of the tank and I was going to put him into the cure station, well, I realized that he was too big for that too, and any time that I put him on the thing to spin around, he just kept on touching the edges and it was a real pain in the butt. So I had to switch him around, cure him on one side, turn him upside down, etc., cure him on the other side. Yeah, it was a bit of a drama just getting him actually cured, but once he was cured, and that's basically what matters. Anyway, with all of my wash and cure dramas behind me, look at these prints. This is Varus Miniatures. They're supposed to be 10mm scale models, but they look amazing 390% up. And the only reason I printed them 390% up is because that's the size of my build plate.
Hey guys, I've moved from the wine on to the stout, and that's why I'm talking a bit crap. But yeah, thanks to Florian from Varus Miniatures for sending me out the Gandalf and the Balrog miniatures. They are awesome. They look just as good, 390% bigger than the 10mm scale versions. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And also a massive thanks to all of my Patreon members, including Dan and Jake, who have just joined. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a while since someone's jumped onto Patreon. If anyone else out there wants to do that, that would be great. All right. It's very late at night.